Hi, I'm Bill, and if this is the first time dropping into my channel, welcome. Uh, the purpose of today's video, I thought the natural progression would be to share with you which cameras I have within the Fuji X system. There's many cameras that are available. We'll go into that in a second, and then I'll kind of review with you the two cameras I have, which is the Fuji X-T1, which is kind of older technology from 2016, and then the newer technology from 2020, my X-T4. But what I really want to say is I'm not here to promote the Fuji ecosystem or the Fuji camera system. It just happens to be what I have. So there are many fine camera manufacturers out there. You know the names. They all make great cameras. Again, it's my belief that the best camera is the one you have at the time when you want to capture an image. I also believe that different camera systems might be a better fit for one person than another based upon what their mission is in photography. And I'll probably do a video on this later in the future, but when looking at camera systems, I think the place to start is with the lenses, identifying which lenses, which focal lengths, which apertures are the best fit for your photography goals. Identify the cost of those and what's available within a camera system, manufacturer's system, and then make your decision from there and match it up with the manufacturer's body. But we'll do a video about that in the future. We'll do many videos. So here I am on Fuji United States page, which is where I'm located in San Mateo, California. And basically Fuji has three systems in a sense. They have the GFX, which is their larger format mirrorless camera. They have the X system, which is the system that I have currently. And then they also have their fine picks. So let's go into the X system. And of course, I'll put all these links in the description of the video if you want to go to these pages in the future. So I thought this might be some way of sharing with you. It really talks about what the X system is. And I think of the X system in two different ways. I think one, it's the mount type for the lens, and then the other is many of the Fuji cameras have an X-Tran sensor. I won't go into that now. That'll probably be something in the future. But when I think X, that's associated with Fuji. Those are the two things I think about. So if we come down here and we look at the X mirrorless digital cameras, you'll see that there are many cameras to choose from. Again, they are at different price points, they have different features, and again, I think, you know, the goal, when you're purchasing a camera system, is to try to match the lenses and the body up to meet the majority of the needs you may have as a photographer. So we'll just kind of go here. I have the X-T4, and they do not list the X-T1 on this page. So let's drill into the X-T4. We'll hit the learn more, and then you get, you know, some cool images. And one thing I want to say up front is my channel is not going to be a bunch of slick images. I tend to be more of a practical person and a little bit more plain. So you won't see the flashy graphics and those type of things. What I will try to commit to is a regular production schedule of videos and also good audio with good video quality, I hope, most times. So okay, they talk about colors and performance and those type of things. So, you know, you can check the different things out. They do videos, and then down at the bottom they have some X stories for you to check out. But when I think about a camera, I think about many aspects of a camera, but one of the things I think about is the sensor size. So if we go over to this site, which I really like. It's the digital camera database. A lot of great information, and it'll let you do comparisons between the different camera models. And if you saw my first video, my introductory video, you know that at one time I was a Canon shooter, most recently shooting the Canon 6D, which I sold to buy the XT4. And the story on why I did that, I think, is in my introductory video. You might want to check that one out. But what I like about this page is it gives you some idea on comparison between different camera models. So the key thing here is that there are different size sensors in cameras. My Canon EOS 60 was what was considered a full frame camera, and the Fuji X-T4 is an APS-C size sensor. And there's many attributes to a sensor that help determine what results you might expect from it. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but I just wanted to mention that some of the things are sensor size of the actual pixels, pixel density on the sensor, and maybe we'll go into that in some future videos. Again, my goal is not really to teach photography, but share my experiences in learning the X system. So I think it's valid to do some comparison right now between my 6D and my XT4. But there's a lot of good information here, and again, I'll put these links in the video, and then I wanted to go into this page here where I have the Fujifilm X-T4, and I also own the Fuji X-T1. And what you can see here are simple information such as the difference in megapixels, the Fuji X-T4 being 26.1 versus the Fujifilm X-T1, which is 16.3. Just a moment around megapixels. You know, I think a lot of it depends on how large a prints you want to make. If that's part of what you want to do is make wall prints and those type of images to hang on walls, then megapixels may be more important to you. For me, I don't do that. I don't print big pictures. I do 8x10s at most, 5x7s. So the XT1 at 16 megapixels is just fine, but it's also nice to have the 26 megapixels of the XT4 if I want to crop a little bit more on the image. So and we'll go into those type of things, I think, in the future. But this site, Digital Camera Database, is a good site to get familiar with. If you're looking at purchasing a camera system, you want to do some comparisons between the different models and the different brands. I think it's helpful information as part of your decision-making process when purchasing a camera. Again, my bias is more towards pick your lenses first and then match it up with the body, but different people do it different ways. Nothing significant that I want to point out here at this time. We will be covering some of these things in future videos as I am working with the menu system and different lenses, but for right now it's more about making you aware that these resources exist, and there's many more that you might want to check out if you have an interest in this type of content. All right. So let's kind of do some comparison between my XT1 and the XT4. Again, this camera here, now let's see if this is going to work. Okay, over here, this is my XT1, and then hopefully we'll get the perspective in size between the two. And you know, I'm trying some new lighting and everything here. What you'll see on the top of the camera, the controls are relatively the same. But clearly there's size differences with the body, and hopefully this is working out because I don't want to reshoot this video. I mentioned these type of controls being exposed, And the reason I like it, because when I started learning photography, I learned how to do in-studio portrait photography, and I shot in manual mode. And so the exposure of these controls, my ability to get to them quickly was helpful to me. And even today I shoot mostly manual, but we will be going through the different modes on these cameras in the future videos. The other thing I wanted to point out is different types of lens style. So if you look at this camera here, you'll see this very short lens. This is, maybe people call it a pancake lens. This is the original Fuji non 27mm f2.8 lens. People seem to either really love it or they're not so fond of it. And you know, I think that opinions on lenses are going to vary based upon what you're trying to get or need to get out of your camera system. I happen to love it. This thing fits in my pocket very easily of my jacket, so for walking around trying to do some street photography, it's a great lens. I can also put that lens on this camera, but as you can see with the body being bigger, you know, I'm going to have a little harder time slipping this body into my pocket, but that body is going to go in easier than my old Canon 6D DSLR. So I want to touch a little bit on lenses. The lenses I have is this 27mm. Now, one thing about APS-C, you'll often hear people refer to equivalent to full-frame cameras. I like to kind of disregard that, but if you need to have that information, you basically, this roughly works out to 38, 39 millimeter equivalent to a full-frame camera. I like this 35 millimeter perspective for kind of documentary portraits and street photography, but different people have different preferences when it comes to focal length. This one here, I really love this lens. This is the Fuji f 56mm f1.2. We'll get into apertures in future videos, but being a portrait photographer, this gives me the equivalent of what I used to shoot with my full frame. Normally in the 85mm to about 105 was what I would typically shoot when I was doing portraits. Again, this lens here, the 56 and the 27 are what are known as prime lenses. Prime lenses have one focal length. I happen to have a 35mm prime lens. This is the Fuji 35mm, and then I also have a 23mm here. Again, they're prime lenses, fixed focal lengths. I have these two out on rental right now. I wanted to take some images and a group photo at a family event I went to Christmas Eve, so I rented these two lenses. I'm also evaluating them because I'll probably do a purchase of one in the future, and I will do a video on renting lenses. I think it's a great thing to do when you're trying to get an idea of what focal lengths you might like to have. The other lens that I own, this is 18mm to 135. It's a good lens, and I use this when I need what's called a little bit more reach. And then there is the kit lens that came with the XT1, and this is the 18 to 55. But we'll get into lenses, focal lengths, and those type of things in the future videos. So I basically just wanted to share with you what pieces of the X system I'll be working with initially. Again, my two primes, 27 and 56mm, which I own, and my two, I don't know if you call them zoom or telephoto, my 18 to 55 and the 18 to 135. Along the way, I'll be renting other lenses to do the different types of genre of photography, and then I'll share that information with you. So this is kind of my thought on what the X system is. Again, I moved down to the X system because I wanted a little bit smaller sized camera. While I saw a lot of benefit with having a full frame camera, especially in low light situations, I find that with the APS-C sensor, many people say with a full frame sensor you're going to be a better position to do low light photography. I don't want to get into that. There's many schools of thought, but I don't feel I've lost anything when it comes to low light photography with my APS-C sensor in my XT1 and in particular the XT4, because I can pair it up with a fast lens that lets in more light to try and compensate for the lower light. So, okay, I think that's about it. I'm not sure if there was anything else I wanted to share with you at this point, but this is what I'll be working with. These are the menu systems that I'll be digging into and in future videos, and I think that's about it for right now. So if you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up. As always, like, share, and subscribe. If you're an Amazon shopper, be sure to check out our Amazon links in the description. Even if you don't purchase the item at the end of the link, if you use it to go to Amazon and you purchase something else within a 24-hour period, we'll get some credit. It'll help the channel. Everything is anonymized, so I have no idea who is buying what, but that type of support is always appreciated. And again, I think what makes the channel really work is your comments and questions, so please feel free to give feedback. Feel free to correct me. I'm totally open. I don't get offended, and your comments and questions can help me improve the quality of the content and the focus of the content on this channel. All right, other than that, till next time.